Welcome to the club. My name is John. I will be your host for this meeting. I want to thank everybody who took a look at the employer sponsored 401k plan. That was one of the most viewed videos in the series from the club meetings that I have been producing. In today's meeting, I wanted to review and take a look at the purchase that we made into the Roth IRA account over at Fidelity, where we invested $2,000 into a Fidelity Select financial portfolio. We're just going to review that. And also, in one of the segments, I'm going to do a deep dive into how the investments actually grow, and your investments are compounded when you use the reinvesting features of your capital gains, which are short term and long term, and any dividends. So I just want to make sure you understand how these investments, where you start with a certain amount of money, you never put anything in, they will grow over the years, which I have benefited from in some of my early investments over 30 years ago. So I want to cover that in detail so that you will understand how your investments grow, um, when they do appreciate, and what it looks like when they're not doing so well. So I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share, and we're going to review the purchase that we made into a Roth IRA. Okay, everybody, here we go. This is the Roth IRA. We opened it with $2,000, and our purchase price was about $15.84. Now, what I did was I decided to take some of the money I would normally devote towards the Roth, and instead of putting it in towards the end of the year, I would put it in now. So I actually sent another $500 in to it, and that was on the 14th of the month. I'll send another $500 in on the 15th of the month. And what that will do is that'll get this up to $3,000, and I will be done. Now, what I'm going to try and do is earmark this investment to get two contributions of $500 every year while I'm still working. So over here, if we take a look at this Roth account, you see that $2,500, that is typical share prices, what they're showing there, combined with the purchases. So that's going to be your cost basis. If we come across here, so I got 159 0.581 shares. That's why I was looking for comparable investments that have a low price so I can get more shares. I'm 100% invested. The current value is 24.91. So I got to say this because I'm a fan of Wall Street. We took a little loss today, Mr. Gecko. And as you can see, we've lost 1.39%, or $35.11, since we went ahead and started this investment. And our ticker symbol, as we were talking about, is FIDSX. If we click that, it brings up the investment screen here. I'm going to scroll down. And over here, I'm going to blow it up a little bit, and we can see what we're investing in. So if you invest in this, it's like, well, geez, I've had this for 2 years and this hasn't done anything. You could take a look at the mix, see if any of these companies you just don't like anymore or heard bad news about, and make a decision. You can sell, or you can just hold on and let it grow or recover. So this is down a little bit. Now the banks will start reporting their earnings within another couple of months, and we'll see if that boosts it a little bit. But this is how you would keep track of your investments, and just monitor them and keep eye on them, and track your ticker symbols so that you can see what was going on. Now, we're looking here. This is the high point here. It's $16.78. And that says it was on November 22nd. and its low point was here. Now it has been much, much lower um, over the last year, and that's only looking at I think the 1 year. So let's throw it out 5 years, and we can see here. This way, by you doing this, once these investments start to grow, if they really, really go high and you need a few $100s, you could sell a few of these shares. It's not like the cost of the shares are $200 a piece, like we took a look at when we did the employer sponsored 401k over at Blank Family of Business at BFOB. Those shares are $200. So if you needed, and I only had 600, so if I needed 500, um, 2.5 shares would have to be sold. Here, I wouldn't have to do that. I would just subtract the number of shares times the amount. But you're looking for this to grow. Over years, that could go from 15 to 30. So this is what I want to cover as a review. We probably won't be returning to this until the banks report their earnings, and we'll see if it'll affect this. So this is what I got on this particular investment into the Roth IRA. The game plan is set. It's going to get $1,000 long as I'm employed over the next few years. And we'll talk about how these investments grow if I never put any more money in that. And I'm going to come back with a different account and a different ticker symbol. We're going to examine the investments that make up one of my investments that I've held for over 10 years that's showing a 56% increase since I started investing, and I rolled it over from a one of the jobs that I quit. Okay. So this is John, and I will be back with you on a different segment, and we're going to look at the compounding and reinvesting of the gains. Okay, everybody, we're going to finish up this last segment here, and I'm going to talk about this Charles Schwab account that I have. The first reason why I have it is I worked at an employer who had a investment, and I picked it out. It was this ticker symbol here, HACAX, the Harbor Capital Appreciation Fund, and it had did really well. It was growing at 25 something percent. When I left that employer, I went ahead and rolled it, opened up a Charles Schwab account, and I rolled that over in kind. At that time, I was not aware that I could have maybe moved it and combined it with my Fidelity. But I think this was a good move because in my line of business doing tech support, you never know when you may be faced with an opportunity to go work for one of these companies. And as someone who has an account with them, you would be familiar with it. So that's one of the reasons. So this is the investment right here, HACAX, Harbor Capital. I got 72 shares. It's priced at $118. Market value 85, 87, 71. This is the cost basis. It has a gain of 66.45%. It represents over half of the value. Okay. So remember that that's the cost basis, and that's the market value, and that's the price. We're going to take a look at this investment, see why I kept it around so long. So we click the ticker symbol, and it comes up. It's got the buy sell options. And as we scroll through here, it should start talking about how well it's doing. So it's HACAX, and that color looks like it's way up there. The large growth is the light blue, and the S&P 500 is this yellow. So this is a very good mutual fund right here. It's large growth. Now let's take a look at what it's made of. There you go. This is the top holdings here. You got Nvidia, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, Meta, Broadcom, they make the chips, Netflix, Tesla, MasterCard, Eli Whitney. This has the Magnificent Seven in here. One, two, three, four, five. 6. It's got, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got 6. It's missing alphabet, but it may have some alphabet in here at a lower percentage. But this is the heavyweight. So this is the S&P 500. These companies dominate it, and that's why it's doing so well. Now, one of the things about the compounding of it is the reinvestment of the dividends and capital gains. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back out of this and let's go back. We're going to go to transaction history. And as you can see, I'm getting some dividends right now from the money market. So we're going to grab this. That's the ticker symbol. We're going to throw it in here. And then we're going to toggle this to previous year. Okay. Previous year. And I'm going to do a search. Now, here you go. Long-term capital gains is paid out December 20th. This investment paid $805 and it was set to reinvest. So what happens is the end of the year and sometimes during the year, some investments will pay out either dividends, short-term and long-term capital gains, or all together. And what happens is it's set to reinvest. So I actually picked up 7 shares were purchased on my behalf. Now, when it pays out the capital gains, the price per share will go down a little bit, maybe a couple bucks when they pay out the dividends. What they're doing is they're paying all the gains out to you as a shareholder after they take their expenses. They're going to take their expenses off the top. But this is an example how an investment over a long term will grow. Okay. So stick with me because I went and found my paperwork here. Here you go. This big binder right here that you see me with, this has all of the statements. Now, if you're going to be investing, you got 2 choices. You can get these paper statements, get a hole puncher and put them in the big binder like this, or you can save them as PDFs. You're going to need this. The investment firms will keep these around for 7 years, but after that, you're on your own and they may charge you for it, and it's going to be expensive. You'll need this in case you ever get divorced, so be aware of that. All right, this investment, now the date of this is period January 1, 2018 to March 31st, 2018. So we're going to go back. Let me see if I can get you back. I'm going to go back again. All right, here we go. The first quarter of 2018 for that investment, I had 43 shares, 43.87. I got 72 shares after all those years. The price that I paid at that time, that value is $72.44. And the market value was $3,178. I never invested any more money in this account. It was set to automatically reinvest. And that's what it's been doing. And now it's up to $8,587. And I'm coming close on doubling the number of shares. Maybe it's got 43, it would be 86 shares. A couple more years, I would have doubled the quantity. And by it purchasing more shares and it paying out, it increased the cost basis. My original cost basis, if I use this, the market value of 31.78, I mean, the cost base, I don't know what it is. It's not showing here because I don't have the statement where I actually rolled it over and made the purchases. At least I don't see them. Helps add to the value. So you can see how my initial investment has gone up. So they take the reinvestment of all the capital gains, add it back into the cost basis. So in this case, in this investment, it has grown by a couple $1,000 all by itself. and then you got the appreciation. So those are the two key factors in how these investments grow. And that's what I want to show you here. If we take a look at, I got this other big binder. Ugh. This big binder here is from that Fidelity account. The Fidelity account was open. It shows July 1st, 2012, and I had a balance of $10,000, 948. I never did put any more money in it. However, I did roll over, and it's trading. It's valued at 113,000 now. So that's how, over the long term, you can take these amounts of money that you have, the $3,000 that you may be able to put into your 401k and so forth, and consistently do that over a period of time until you get everything paid off and you're able to make more money. You know, your kids are gone, house is paid for, car paid for, or house nearly paid for. Or you're managing your expenses. This cost basis right here and this value, market value, I put that in accounts today. So this is nothing, but it's very important that I had got into this years ago and I stuck with it. So this is all I got on the presentation. I'm going to go ahead and end it, and I'm going to get this published. But I want to make sure that everybody who is starting out investing knows how the system works. Now, with the reinvestment of the capital gains, right now, all but about 5 mutual funds are set up to invest. The, the mutual funds that I've had the longest that are typically paying capital gains are all now going into cash. So in retirement, you got all these investments, and once you start consolidating, I will consolidate this investment. This account balance is 16,000. That's what I need to cover my expenses for a year. I might as well just liquidate this and then not be bothered with it anymore in retirement. But you can see the gains that it has done. That's 33.47%. And it's got things you can look at. But anyway, I want to cover this. Now, you're not always going to get capital gains. There have been years that this Harbor Capital Appreciate didn't pay anything. But fortunately, it's doing well now. So um, that's how your investments will grow as you start to invest. You know, you might have that year where you just can't afford to put a lot in, but just keep those accounts going and reinvesting, and you'll be okay. Okay. This is John, and you have just completed the meeting of the Retirement and Investing Club. Take care, and I'll get this published, and we'll come up with some more interesting topics. Thanks.